why I don't like Bleach, the 1,000 Year Blood arc. Okay? So Bleach was one of my favorite animes to, watch high and intoxicated because it really made me feel the soul, in the uniqueness of anime, especially with characters names like Uryu, Nell, Ishida, and Chad. And I also had a fan named Chad Ochocinco from PE, who I also played football with, who claimed to fuck Kanani Asing, but that's a story for another time. I like the fact that, Aizen was finally incorporated in the series again because he really is, one of the best antagonists out of Bleach. Aizen teaming up with Ichigo is what should have happened in the very first chapter of Bleach due to his relationship with the Soul Society and him also being a Soul Captain. But what separates me from the anime community and the lore community, only want to adapt to the lore community due to being ripped off from hip hop. Being ripped off for a producer, being able to make a beat on your own and have a producer, convince you to go someplace in order, to make you end up somewhere else like Jay-Z and Beyonce on the street. But what you don't realize in that situation is that the anime community is spoiled. Back when I, first joined in 2013, to where it comes to forums, where it comes to shipping forums, anything that has to do with a higher nerd period, if there's, a group of black male individuals all over 18 playing Yu-Gi-Oh, that means, it's a form of lore, it's a form of extension for everything connected to Dragon Ball Z. I would never, look up the black and white, manga for Bleach when the anime was so clean, literally so crispy, it had everything I wanted in that anime. The flying, the swords, I feel like everything is cut in half in the manga. And plus, I feel like Bleach is an intricate story, enough, it is where it comes to certain characters like Aizen, Orochi, and Urahara, where it comes to Ichigo, it's very bland where it comes to storytelling. So, doing Bleach 1,000 Year Blood arc, certain characters that were dead that we used to love, like Ukiura, Grimjaw, Jaggerjax, literally are now revived and brought back to life. And I heard, I actually saw and witnessed a community college teacher one time say that stories are supposed to make you feel for something. It's supposed to be impactful. Like when a character dies, it dies for a reason. It teaches you a moral in a story. It teaches you not to hold on to something. Literally, why would you accept something being brought back to life, literally, when it was so precious, it was alive? It gave you the whole concept of life and death. That's why I feel like the 1,000 Year Blood arc is stupid. On the bright side, you get to see Kenpachi in his Bankai, but that took way too long for his series to establish. In series like Naruto and One Piece, we established heavy transformations earlier down the series. One thing you have to recognize about the lore community is it's not made to be social. And the lore community is the current community that takes over Storm. Ultra Ninja Storm 4, or whatever. I'm thinking of downloading Generations. You can download Generations for a PS4, but it's not worth it. Only because Kurenai is a support, Anko's a support, the main fucking character, the main villain's name is wrong. Yuha Bak. What the freak is a Yuha Bak? However, this community has its benefits due to, having longer play. I turned this into, an educational system called Flight School. So the longer play, instead of it being boring, instead of looking up more culture Yu-Gi-Oh, instead of looking up more facts about anime, it involves physical activity, like doing the research of the Ginyu Force and posing like the Ginyu Force after we just read a chapter. That is called Blue Trix's Flight School. I've never gone over, major aspects in Flight School or within Flight School like Sosuke Aizen in his role in anime and why everybody in the anime community is on his nuts. Or Julia Loxar. So what I've been trying to do, recently is I've been trying to put on for the earlier deviant artists. In order to be a fan in progression, like say if you're an anime fan in high school, what you have to do is you have to watch anime that's similar to Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail or One Piece. One of the best aspects of a fan of progression is the character designs of Juvia and Gajo, because they're everything connected to Dragon Ball Z and they still progress. Another example of a fan progression is the War of Best, Marineford as we call it in the anime community of One Piece. Alright, so Juvia and Godzilla and, Marineford, aka, War of Best, are the, best examples. So the problem of that is that the anime community works off intellect instead of being an intellectual. And you can't deny, physical properties such as Juvia and, Godzilla, which is why they are intellectual, and Storm 4, Naruto Ultra Ninja Storm 4 is an intellectual game. That's the contradiction. All the unique, colors of their characters and their characters' abilities are what make it intellectual. How are we going to have a community that works basically off intellect when the show as a whole has intellectual properties? Which is why you take, part in, the bullshit like Yu Harbaka 1,000 Year Blood arc, because that's just intellect. It's manga, isn't it? Literally, it's anime, isn't it? It's already a delicacy. If you give me a variety or something different to compare it to, I'm going to compare it. I'm not going to act like something amazing isn't.